ChatGPT just told me that the number one industry where the dumbest people become millionaires is the one that I accidentally stumbled into at the age of 19. And if you're even just somewhat intelligent and you get in now, it's literally just a matter of time before you make a disgusting amount of money online.
So as you can see, this is my payment processor here in USD and Canadian over the past 20 days, doing just under $20,000. But as I was talking to ChatGPT, I was asking it, like, what is the number one industry in the world where the dumbest people can become rich? And the first thing that they said a few other industries, but the first one was the entertainment and the social media business, specifically TikTokers, influencers, all that stuff. It also listed things like radio and internet in 2004, essentially as if you got into that in 2004 when it first came out, then you could have capitalized on it. And it also mentioned speculative markets like crypto and meme coins, but it also really emphasized that this is extremely luck based. And so I actually stumbled into this industry after a pretty dark realization that I was going through in my Make Money Online journey, because before I really found my breakthrough, I tried a bunch of different business models and I was doing all this research. I was probably like you, watching all these videos about how to make money. I'd see one video about drop shipping, and then I see the next video about day trading, and then I'd see the next one about SMMA, the next one about YouTube automation, so on and so forth. After failing with a couple of these business models, I came to a realization that essentially everybody is just selling a course or a coaching program. If you go to the descriptions of all these videos, they're all selling a course or a coaching program, and it opens up to one of these pages. And so what do all of these people have in common? Well, they're all selling a high ticket offer, which we'll dive back into in a second. Another thing as well that I realized as I was talking with AI is that if dumb people can do it, what is stopping you? Because what we're going to be talking about with high ticket sales, you don't need inventory, you don't need to run ads, you don't need to be a tech behind the screen. Literally all you need to do is follow a proven script, show up to calls consistently, have real conversations with leads in the influencer space. And it even listed here, if guys with no sales experience, no degree, no business knowledge can walk in and make anywhere from 5 to 10K per month, what excuse do you have? It also mentioned here that there's a massive upside for people that are smart, basically saying that even if you have a little bit of intellect to yourself, then you can succeed in something like this, because the fact that average people can succeed means that you can guarantee success if you have a big drive, discipline, and coachability. Whereas a lot of dumb guys plateau at making 5 to 10K per month, which is still solid income for most people. Sharper guys can leverage the sales management side of things, partnerships, and really scale their income after they start making 5 to 10K per month in doing sales. So let's actually break this down and look into the space. So every single day, these influencers, again, that we mentioned earlier, that are selling high ticket offers, every single day, these people are posting content on social media that gets them hundreds of inbound leads that want to work with them. Now, the issue that these people face is that they don't have time all day to handle every single conversation with all of these leads on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, etc. Because these people are busy either creating content on social media, busy managing some sort of team, or even just coaching the current students that they already have. And so this is where you essentially come into play. This is where high ticket sales reps come into the picture. Setters and closers are the people that work behind the scenes with the hundreds of inbound leads that want to work with these people every single day. They work behind the scenes to take all of those leads and turn them into cash. Basically, if you can get really good at the skill of turning attention into money, you will always make money. Whether it's working for someone else or whether it's eventually you running your own business where you do that for yourself. And this is really important to understand, because essentially that's what every business is. It's simply just somebody that's getting attention. You think of newspapers, you think of radio ads, you think of billboards, you think of social media ads. And they have setters and closers that work on converting all of the attention into cash. Just like every mainstream business does this, so do influencers. It is the exact same principle as just a regular business. And the good part for you is that influencers are willing to invest a lot of money to find the right talent, to find the right sales reps. And it's a win-win. It's a value exchange, because you're providing an enormous value and an enormous service for them, because again, these people don't have time all day to work with their hundreds of inbound leads. So you're providing them massive value and they will pay you as a byproduct for it. Now, I asked ChatGPT for even more analytics about this, and this is what it came up with. Essentially, the global influencer market is projected to reach 32 billion in 2025, which is up from 24 billion. So it's growing like 25% per year. And that as well, it was just 1.4 billion in 2014. So it's growing massively. What does this mean? Well, it means that there's rapid growth right now in the influencer economy. I'm sure you guys are even seeing it too. You see a new influencer pop up on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. every single day. And it's because there's enormous expansion in this space right now, and it's going to keep getting that way. Additionally, too, the creator economy is expected to reach 528 billion by 2030, which is an average growth of 22.5% per year. What does this mean for you? Well, it means that if you can focus on learning something like this right now, the upside could be huge for you. On top of that, too, the US influencer marketing spend will surpass 10.5 billion in 2025, which is up 23% year over year. This means that real money is flowing in from all angles. This means that big businesses are hiring influencers to sell their product. This is commonly known as user-generated content, UGC. This means that people are becoming influencers, starting their own business off of the platforms that they've built. And in a world where trust is at an all-time low, people tend to trust influencers more than they do institutions. Think about the last thing that you purchased. Did you purchase it from some big business that has never talked to you ever before? Or did you purchase it because you saw some sort of influencer or some sort of social media piece of content that talked about that thing? If you look at it too, 71% of marketers plan to increase their influencer budgets in 2025. 26% of brands and agencies allocate over 40% of their marketing budgets towards influencers. 85% of businesses have dedicated influencer marketing budgets. This means that there's a growing demand, which means that there's going to be more and more sales roles available, which means that you are going to be constantly in business and constantly available, which means more commission opportunities for you and more opportunities for you to get on a really, really good offer and start making really good money. This also shows you how serious brands are about influencer marketing, and that if you partner with an influencer, you will provide tremendous value to them. And the best part on top of all of that is the fact that you don't even need a degree, past experience, or any training to do something like this. Like for me, I actually dropped out of college because I didn't see the value in a college degree at all. It's actually proven now that most businesses prefer experience now over a degree in 2025. But in the influencer space, since it's still so new, a lot of these influencers don't even hire based off experience. They just hire people that they can get because they want to start making money. They want to grow their business. And you can definitely start it with no training. You obviously have to build this over time, but this is something that you can do even if you've never sold anything before in your life. I've literally seen firsthand complete beginners step into the industry, and in 60 days, they're in a position where they're either doing a relationship offer, a fitness offer, a money offer, a business offer, and they're making 10K per month as a closer. Now, I don't want to make this like the most attractive thing in the world and just make it seem like it's super, super get rich quick. Obviously, there are some things that you have to be aware of before you want to do something like this. Number one, you absolutely have to have a willingness to work hard. If you're just going to be lazy, if you're just going to be like not wanting to do the work, you can just get off my channel right now, because all of the advice I'm providing is under the assumption that you're willing to work hard. If you're somebody that's not willing to work hard right now, then you're probably not going to succeed with any business model, if I'm being honest with you. You keep looking for the business model that's the easiest or the fastest, and you're probably going to continue failing, because there's so many marketers out there that will market towards making things seem super easy and super fast, and you're going to buy their thing and you're going to realize that it's a lot harder than they made it seem to be. Doing high ticket sales is hard, I'm not going to lie to you guys, but it gives everybody a fair shot to build a skill set, to get into the influencer economy and set themselves up for a future. Second thing is you absolutely have to be coachable, because you're building the skill of sales. You have to be willing to learn, and you have to be willing to adapt and adjust based on what's working and what's not working. The third thing is that you absolutely have to be consistent. If you're just going to be one of those guys that tries a business model for 14 days, realizes it's too hard, and then moves on to the next one, and then moves on to the next one, and then moves on to the next one over and over again, this is not going to be for you. High ticket sales is something that you should literally commit for the next 10 years to. When I first got started in high ticket sales, before I even started making good money, I made a commitment to myself that I would stick to high ticket sales for at least a year before I ever considered even doing anything else. And literally just me committing to doing that, I ended up finding my breakthrough just a couple months in. Kind of like, speaking of me and my story, this was me while I was full-time in college. I was going to UW Stout and I was majoring in mechanical engineering. I was also working part-time as a lifeguard, as you can see here with the pool behind me. And on top of all of that, I started to try to make money online. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was a grind with having to do all three. But I stuck to it, I stayed consistent, and I started making 3 to 5K per month while I was still full-time in college. And then since I was starting to bring in good money, I was able to quit my lifeguarding job and just go all in on this with the free time that I had. And just a couple months later, I started averaging $15,000 per month, with a couple $18,000 months and a couple $20,000 months. And over the course of doing that for about 3 years, this is from 2022 all the way to 2025, or I guess late 2024, we did about 800K. And so I don't say this to brag, I'm simply just showing you what's actually possible if you commit yourself to something like this. Am I saying you're gonna get the exact results that I got? No, but what I am saying is that if you're somebody that's willing to work hard and you give it a fair shot and you stay consistent and stick to it, this is absolutely something that you can do. And now as a byproduct, I essentially lived the life that I dreamed of while I was sitting in college. I live in my dream high-rise apartment on the water in Tampa Bay. I have my dream car. Most of my days, I'm literally out on my laptop working by the pool, living with the boys, time, location, freedom, all of that fun stuff. And just one last thing that I wanted to add in here, this is literally me on Zoom calls closing for offers. This was me about 3 years ago taking Zoom calls, closing on offers while I was still in my mom's basement. If I was doing this at 19 years old in my parents' basement with terrible lighting, like look at my fucking face, bro. Terrible lighting, goofy ass background, goofy ass haircut. If I was able to make 10K per month literally while doing this without even really knowing what I was doing, I was stuttering all the time. If I was able to make this work and still make 10K per month, what is your excuse? I don't want to make myself seem like I'm like super superior or something, but quite literally, I went from being this guy that was like literally ugly taking these Zoom calls. I didn't even know what I was doing. I wasn't even good at it, and I was still able to make it work just because I wanted it bad enough. If you even just are slightly better than this, then you will succeed just like I did if you actually want it bad enough. Now look, I've answered the main questions for you guys here, but this is what it really comes down to at the end of the day. This industry of influencers is exploding, and smart people are getting in now, and they're positioning themselves for the future. They're positioning themselves in a good spot before everyone else figures it out. They're getting the experience. They're building the skills now before everybody else tries to get into it so that they always have the leg up. Here's the reality of the situation. In the next 2 to 3 years, the space quite literally could be saturated. The AI coming around the corner, and with more and more people talking about doing high ticket sales, there could be a position where there's too many sales reps and not enough influencers to sell for. That is not the case right now though. Right now, you can still get in with minimal experience and get on a good position so that you can start learning as you're earning. I got in when barely anybody was talking about this, and this is why I was able to go from working $12 an hour as a lifeguard while I was full-time in college majoring as a mechanical engineer to making 25K per month relatively quickly. The opportunity was presented for me, I took it, and I ran with it. But this is your advantage right now if you're watching this video. If you're watching this video, it means that you're already ahead of 99% of people. Because most people on the internet don't even know about this industry, and they don't even know that it exists in the way that it does. And if you're somewhat intelligent, you're somewhat well-spoken, you have a massive head start over all the other people that are going to try to do this. The question isn't whether this works or not, because I've shown you all the proof at this point. The question is, are you going to work? Are you going to actually take action on something and actually try to change your life and put in the work? Or are you just going to keep watching videos over and over on YouTube? Because at this point, you really have like two options. Option one is that you can try this on your own. You can watch video after video on YouTube and try to put the pieces together by yourself. And to be honest with you, that actually can work, but it might take forever. Option two is that you can work with somebody who's already done this and who has the connections to influencers that are constantly looking for sales reps. Inside of my one-on-one coaching program, we post anywhere from 20 to 40 influencers every single day that are actively hiring appointment setters and closers. They're hiring people in advanced positions where experience is required, or they're hiring people in beginner positions where experience is not required at all. On top of that too, you can work with somebody who can teach you the skills of sales and place you into these positions where you can start to succeed. Look guys, I run a one-on-one coaching program where I help young guys go through this process of doing high ticket sales. And I specifically only work with 2 people at the most per week. And the reason why I do this is because I actually coach everybody individually. If you're serious about making something like this work and you're tired of being broke and you want to learn a skill that can change your life, you can go to the link in the description. You can book a time with myself where you and I can talk a little bit more about this. But promise me if you're going to book a call that you're going to be willing to put in the work. This isn't like some get rich quick scheme where you can just do nothing all day and make a ton of money. This is an actual skill that requires effort. It's kind of like being a professional athlete. If you put in the effort, if you put in the work, you can succeed in the sport, but if you don't, you can't. Either way though, stop watching videos, start taking action. Your future self will thank you for it. Subscribe if this video helped you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.